What if I told you that you're not actually seeing reality? I mean, not directly. What if your brain is constantly, every single second, predicting it? Literally creating your entire world from the inside out. It's a seriously wild idea, and it pretty much flips everything we thought we knew about perception right on its head. Yeah, that's a quote from some neuroscientists who are really digging into this. Controlled hallucination. Just let that sink in for a second. It's like your brain is this master storyteller. It gets a few clues from your eyes and ears, and then it just makes up the rest of the story. It's not just reading the book of the world, it's writing it, right as you're living it. And that right there, that's the million-dollar question. Because what happens when your brain gets it wrong? When its predictions don't line up with what's actually happening? Well, that creates something called a prediction error. And you know what? How our brain handles that little mismatch, that's the key. It's the key to understanding, well, pretty much everything about us. Our emotions, our habits, even things like anxiety and trauma. It's huge. All right, so to really get this, we've got to look at the science behind it. And it starts by taking our basic common sense idea of how we see the world and just completely tearing it down. Okay, so check this out. On the left, you've got the old school way of thinking. Super simple, right? Information comes from the world, through your eyes and into your brain. A one-way street. But the new idea, the predictive view on the right, it just flips that whole thing around. Your brain is actually sending signals out, making a guess, a prediction about what it expects to see. The only stuff that really comes back from your senses is the stuff that doesn't fit the prediction. It's all about noticing the surprises. Talk about an efficient system, right? It only processes the unexpected. This whole idea is often called the Bayesian brain. And honestly, the best way to think about it is that your brain is acting like a little scientist. It has this internal model, a kind of theory about how the world works, built from every single thing you've ever experienced. Then it uses your senses to collect data to see if its theory holds up. It's constantly asking itself, okay, based on everything I know, what's the most likely thing causing this sound or this sight? It's all about playing the odds. And what's driving this whole engine? Well, it's something called the free energy principle, a huge idea from a neuroscientist named Carl Friston. Now, I know it sounds super complicated, but the core idea is actually pretty simple. Your brain absolutely hates being surprised. It hates being wrong. Think of that prediction error we talked about as like mental static on radio. Your brain's number one job is to twist the dials and tune its internal model of reality until that static goes away, leaving you with the clearest signal possible. And here's where it gets really cool, because this isn't just a theory about how we see things. To get rid of that mental static, that surprise, your brain has two main moves. The first one is to just update its model. That's perception. So you think you see your friend across the street, you get a bit closer, and oops, it's a total stranger. Your brain just goes, okay, my bad, and updates its prediction. Easy. But the second option, it's to change the world to make the prediction come true. And that, my friends, is action. Think about this. To raise your hand, your brain first creates a prediction of your hand being up in the air. That creates a massive prediction error, right? Because your hand is down. So what's the simplest way to fix that error? You got it. Just move your hand. Suddenly, perception and action are just two sides of the exact same coin. Mind blown. Okay, so this prediction stuff is one thing for seeing and acting. But what about our inner world? Let's take a look at how this whole engine basically builds our emotions, our drives, and yeah, even those habits we can't seem to shake. You know, this isn't an entirely new idea. Way back in the day, the philosopher David Hume said something that was pretty shocking at the time. He basically said that pure logic doesn't really run the show. It's our passions, our big feelings, our fears, our desires that are really in the driver's seat. And it turns out modern neuroscience is kind of proving him right. So you can think of your emotions and habits as these super fast prediction algorithms. They've been fine-tuned over millions of years of evolution and your own life experiences. That sudden feeling of fear you get when you hear a loud noise, that's not random. That's your brain's prediction engine screaming danger and instantly firing up a survival plan. Fight, flight, or freeze. All before you've even had a chance to think, hey, what was that? And this is the secret sauce behind every single one of your habits. It's a simple loop. Your phone buzzes, that's the cue. Your brain immediately predicts a little hit of dopamine, a reward in the form of a message or a notification. Now here's the magic part. The craving you feel, that's just the prediction error. It's the gap between I predict a reward and I don't have it yet. And what's the easiest way to close that gap? To fix the error? You just grab your phone. Boom. Prediction satisfied. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, really nails this. This whole prediction model explains perfectly why it's so dang hard to stick to good habits and so easy to fall into bad ones. I mean, think about it. A bad habit, like eating a donut, gives you an immediate, super predictable reward. Your brain is a pro at predicting that sugar rush. But a good habit, like hitting the gym, that has an immediate cost. It's hard, you get sweaty, and the reward is way off in the future and kind of fuzzy. So you're basically in a fight against your own brain's desire for a quick, easy, predictable win. So this prediction system is fantastic when it works, when our internal maps of the world are pretty accurate and we can update them. But what happens when those maps get distorted, when they become rigid and refuse to change? Or worse, what happens when life deals you a blow that just rips your map of the world to shreds? There's this incredibly raw interview with Tracy Lords, where she talks about how childhood trauma shaped her life. She said her self-destructive behavior wasn't just random chaos, it was all driven by one core, dark prediction her brain had made about her own life, that she wasn't going to live past 21. Her actions, in a way, were trying to resolve that prediction error, to make that terrible story come true. And that's exactly what can happen with trauma. The brain's prediction machine gets stuck in a loop. It starts over-predicting threat, seeing danger around every corner. The model of the world becomes incredibly rigid, and it just keeps shouting, "Unsafe, unsafe," even when the actual danger is years in the past. It's like the threat detection system gets turned up to 11, and then the dial just breaks off. We see this powerful idea of a broken world model all over the place in movies. Think about It's a Wonderful Life, right? George Bailey gets to see a reality where all his good intentions, all his positive predictions about his impact just completely failed. Or take a much darker film like Hardcore, where a very religious father has his entire worldview shattered as he dives into the porn world to find his daughter. These stories resonate so deeply because they tap into one of our biggest fears. What if the fundamental story I believe about my life, about the world, is just flat out wrong?
Okay, now let's shift gears a bit, because this is where it gets really futuristic. This exact same principle, a system that tries to minimize surprise by building a model of its world, is the foundation for a brand new and potentially revolutionary kind of AI.
So let's compare. On the one hand, you have the AIs we're all getting used to, the large language models. At their core, they're incredible pattern matchers. They're just predicting the next most likely word. But on the other hand, you have this new thing, active inference AI. And its goal is way, way bigger. It's not just about words, it's about building a genuine model of the world, just like our brains do. So instead of just passively looking at data, it's designed to actively go out, sense things, and act on the world to reduce its own surprise. That means it's fundamentally designed to deal with new, unexpected situations, something today's LLMs are pretty bad at.
Honestly, the ambition here is just massive. We're talking about moving beyond just being a fancy autocomplete. The real goal is to create AIs that can actually understand their environment and act with real purpose. Here's a simple way to think about it. A regular LLM can look at a picture and tell you, that is a cat. An active inference AI could power a robot that learns not just what a cat is, but that it should probably avoid stepping on its tail, because that would cause a very surprising and undesirable result. See the difference? It's about action and consequence.
So let's bring this all back home. Where does this leave you and me? If our reality really is this controlled hallucination built on predictions, what does that actually mean for our lives? Well, it means something pretty amazing. We have way more power to shape our reality than we think. That internal map of the world you have, it's not permanent. It's written in pencil, not ink. I'm going to go back to James Clear here because he says it so well. If you're having trouble changing your habits, the problem isn't you. The problem is your system. And that system, your beliefs, your emotions, your habits, it can be reprogrammed. Every time you consciously choose to do something different, something new, you're feeding your brain new evidence. You're forcing it to update its predictions about who you are and what you're capable of. And Carl Friston, the guy who came up with the free energy principle, takes this idea all the way. He suggests that our very sense of self, our consciousness, the feeling of being me, is just part of this prediction process. You are literally your brain's best guess about the future consequences of your own actions. Your identity isn't a fixed thing, it's a living, breathing model, and you're either reinforcing it or changing it with every single choice you make every single day. And that's really the final and I think most powerful idea to leave you with. Your brain is and always will be a prediction engine. Its job is to create a model of your future, and it can only build that model using the data you provide. So the question isn't if your brain is predicting your future, it is. The real question we all have to ask ourselves is, what future are we going to teach it to create?